Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Daily Drive. It is Friday. I'm so excited for Friday. I have new ears for you guys that I am going to share about. Sometimes there's just not a fun story about the ears. We have so many ears that sometimes there's just not a fun story. And these ears, there's not really a fun story about them. They are supposed to light up, but I guess the battery is dead because they wouldn't light up. But they are from Magic Kingdom. Y'all say, hey, when you get on, welcome to the Daily Drive. Let me backtrack before I get into the ears. I didn't even give y'all a proper welcome. I swear I have shorts on. Dang it, this happens like every week. But I didn't even give y'all a proper welcome. So welcome to the Daily Drive. Say good morning when you hop on. Give me a hashtag Freedom Friday because that's what we're going to get into today. We always get into how to free up your mind when we are talking on Fridays, because freedom, you guys, in all aspects of your life starts in your mind. And so we talk about that on Friday. So welcome to the Daily Drive. This worksheet is something that I created to keep my mind set, my day, my anxiety in check. Because I learned that intentional thinking, gratitude practice, and goal settings is an amazing roadmap to push you through the day. And so I created that worksheet, and it has evolved into this live conversation that I have with y'all 3 times a week. And through this process, y'all, I fully feel like my purpose in life is to help people with mental health issues, with anxiety, with depression, with whatever you've got going on, just to help you understand that you can control your thoughts and your mind and your life even while you're living with all of that. And so I feel like this is how I live out my purpose in life. I feel like this is what I am called or led to do. And so I'm super excited to bring this to y'all 3 times a week. It always brings energy back to me, even when I'm feeling depleted, to get on here and share this with y'all, because I lived in the darkness of anxiety for a long time. I was officially diagnosed with a chemical imbalance that causes my anxiety in 2010, and it was a struggle for a long time. I was the victim of my anxiety for a long time. Everything was blamed on my anxiety. I canceled a lot of plans. Shout out to my mom because she called into work for me a lot from me telling her that I just wasn't feeling well when really it was like anxiety. Like, who's had their mom call into work? Anxiety, Sarah. So anyway, this is just how I've gotten in control of my life, and I love nothing more than sharing that with you guys. So that is why we do the Daily Drive. I'm super excited, y'all, to get into what I'm talking about today for Freedom Friday, because it's something that might get a little heavy. It's something that we kind of are conditioned to think a different way about. So I'm excited to get into it, but let me get back to the ears real quick, okay? Because sometimes there's just not really a fun story about the ears. We have a lot. I skipped around on the order of where they were because I threw this shirt on that's from Magic Kingdom that has fireworks on it and stuff. I think maybe my mother-in-law gave us these. We have 2 of them, so we have matching ones. And so I thought these ears would be fitting to go along with the shirt. It says Happily Ever After there. It says Magic Kingdom. The battery's dead, I think, but it's supposed to light up so these fireworks kind of look like they're moving and all of that. But sometimes when you're in the shops at Disney, I believe these were the shop that is back in Magic Kingdom, in the back where like the Toon stuff is. There's a shop there that's like a big circus tent. I'm pretty sure these were from there. But sometimes when you are purchasing things at Disney and you're checking out, they have ears and little things like this that you can add to your order for a pretty decent price. So these were like $10. You could add it to your order for $10. So, you know, who can resist that when you collect Disney ears and you're checking out and there's some cute ears there that you can add to your collection for $10, right? So that's the story behind these. We bought some other stuff. Again, they're supposed to light up and sparkle, but they're not working right now. We probably need to put new batteries in them. But I felt like they matched this shirt, so I skipped around in the order a little bit. And yeah, just snagged these when we were checking out one of the times that we were at the parks. So that's the story with these ears. So let's get into the Freedom Friday chat, y'all, because this is what I want to make sure that we have time for, because it's something that I have been personally dealing with this week. So when y'all jump on again, say, hey, I want to know that y'all are here with me. Give me a hashtag Freedom Friday. We are going to talk today, y'all, about guilt. Okay? Because we've been talking about freeing our mind, and the way to free our mind is by emptying all of the little boxes that we put everything into. What causes our anxious feelings is the urge that we have, the urge that we feel to just put everything into these little labeled boxes. You know, things have to go a certain way. And when it doesn't go that way, we feel anxious, right? And so what makes those anxious feelings come up is when we're trying to just put a label on everything, put it into boxes, right? And so what I want to talk today about is guilt and how you can free your mind through the process of guilt, because guilt is a natural human emotion. It's something that is going to be felt. It's natural for us to feel a certain way and for things to make us feel guilty sometimes, right? It's just a natural emotion that comes up. But it's also an emotion that we can feel and be present for, but take control of and redirect, okay? And so what we're talking about Freedom Friday is emptying the boxes that are in our minds, emptying the expectations that we have in our minds that we have to feel a certain way about things, okay? If you've been following me this week in my life, you probably know, you've probably seen that it has been like a roller coaster of emotions for me this week. Give me a 1 in the comments if you have ever just had one of those weeks where it feels like everything is happening all at once and there's things that make you feel sad, there's things that make you feel pain, there's things that make you feel happy, like it's just all over the place, right? So that's been going on for me a little bit this week. Because again, if you've been following along, we had to make a super tough decision earlier this week on Tuesday to let go of one of our cats that I rescued around about 2010. So I had her for a pretty long time. And so we had to make the decision to let her go earlier this week, right? And so I felt myself, you know, obviously feeling sad, obviously feeling the pain of loss, but at the same time, good morning, Nicole. You're gonna have to listen to the story. It's not a fun story for these ears. But I found myself feeling that pain, feeling that sadness, but also feeling a little bit of relief, because the reason that we made that decision was because Monica's body was just shutting down. And you can go back in my posts from this week and see some pictures that I posted of her where she was just this plump, fluffy, you know, happy kitty. And the kitty that we had on Tuesday was not the same kitty, and she was ready to let go, right? And so there's a little bit of relief that comes along with that. We've struggled with her health for the last couple of years, and she's slowly kind of gone downhill. And so it's a little bit relieving that we have been able to let her move on from her physical body, right? We're happy that we were able to be there with her, and we're relieved that she's not struggling anymore, right? And so then what that brings up is feelings of guilt. Why am I relieved that I had to let my cat go, right? Why am I Like, that's awful. You know, we're trained to put things into these little boxes, and that goes along with the way that we view death and the way that we view staying happy through those types of processes, right? When I find myself thinking about Monica and the sadness, I redirect it to gratitude, right? But when I start to think about being relieved that we could let her go from her physical body, I start to feel guilty for feeling that way. And that's because I've been told that there's a certain box that things have to go in, right? And that's not okay. I can only express sadness, right? And it's just not true. These are all emotions that are there in our body for a reason. And I'm so sad, and it's so painful, and I still get sad every single day about Roxy, and so I know it's going to be the same with Monica, but I'm so happy that we got to let her move on and that we got to be there. And there's no reason that I need to feel guilty about that. There's no need to feel guilty for something that gives me happy feelings, right? That allows me, happy feelings about her allow me to continue to move on and grieve in a positive way, right? If you have ever lost someone, lost a pet, lost, a friend, someone close to you, whatever, and it depleted your energy, it depleted your emotions, it took you down that spiral. Drop a 2 in the chat. You couldn't get out of it. You felt like you were just going downhill and couldn't get out of those emotions. Drop a 2 in the chat. I'm going to tell you how to get out of those emotions, okay? But I want to give you all of the circumstances that had me thinking about this today, right? So, first of all, it was Monica. It was making the decision to let her go, and then feeling a little bit guilty for feeling happy and relieved that we could do that for her, right? So that's the first thought process that I got to redirect this week, right? Then, my husband and I's 5th wedding anniversary was yesterday, and he took the day off from work so that we could hang out, and spend the day together and do, pretty much nothing. We laid around all day and just hung out and watched Disney movies and, just spent time together, right? And, excuse me. One of the things that helps me let go of, or not let go of, but stay in control of and work through my emotions is blogging and journaling. And so it was our anniversary yesterday, but with all the emotions that have been going on this week and all of the things that have happened this week, I really wanted to work. That's, how I am hoping to make my income going forward, right? Through blogging and influencing and all of that, right? And so I had the urge to want to work, in my workspace, right? Because that's what I do, is let my emotions out and have you guys along on the journey with me, right? And so I found myself feeling guilty again that I am having a day off with my husband, but still wanting to work. Right? I found myself feeling guilty that I should be spending time with my husband, but what I'm thinking about in my mind is what my next blog post is going to be about, or even what I'm going to talk to y'all about today or Monday, right? And so I started to feel guilty that I was having those thoughts and stuff, right? But again, that's because we put everything into these little boxes that tell us that we have to feel and do things a certain way, right? And so this is how we redirect those feelings, okay? Because again, I'm feeling guilty about the mixed emotions that I have about my cat. I'm feeling guilty about the mixed emotions that I had going on yesterday when I was spending time with my husband, right? A lot of times when let me know if you've ever had a time in your life where something super tragic has happened, and then right after that, something really happy and beautiful has happened, right? And you felt guilty for being happy because it's right after this tragic thing happened and you're supposed to be sad because it's right now. Drop a 3 in the chat if you know what I'm talking about, right? It's supposed to be right now and I have to feel sad, but also this happy thing is happening and I want to feel happy, right? Because we're told, again, that we have this little box that we have to put everything into. But the truth is that we are beings that are full of emotion and energy. We are full of energy that we can be in control of, and we are full of emotions that we can feel. We're told that we have to put all of our emotions into these little boxes. We have to brush everything under the rug. We have to play through the pain and stay strong and show everybody your strength and whatever it is. But that's what creates the anxiety. Because we are emotional beings with energy inside of us. And our energy is tied to our emotion. 100%. And we can be in control of that and feel the emotions while we're staying in control of them. And that's something that took me a really long time to learn. And at almost 37, I'm still emptying boxes and breaking down walls and unlimiting my mind, because it's the only way that I'm going to take control of the rest of my life. I've lived in a lot of darkness. A lot of people that are friends with me, that have been friends with me for a long time, either know the darkness or don't know the darkness, because they're either on that level or I hid it from them, right? And what does that do? It causes anxiety. So Freedom Friday, free your mind. Give me a hashtag Freedom Friday if you're still following me. Empty the boxes in your mind. Let go of those expectations. Understand that you're allowed to feel emotion. You're allowed to feel happy, right? So I had a super hella tragic event happen in my life on Tuesday, right? Super tragic event in my life. I've gone through this before, but it didn't make it any easier. The only thing that made it a teeny bit easier was being in control of my emotions this time versus last time, right? Made it a tiny bit easier, but I was still a little bit out of control. Like my husband physically had to pick me up off the floor, right? Before we left, right? So I had this super tragic event happen in my life on Tuesday. Our house feels a little bit empty. We feel the presence not there, right? But then yesterday was our 5-year anniversary and we wanted to be happy. We wanted to spend time together, right? So you have all of these emotions happening all at the same time, right? I'm not allowed to feel happy while all of these things are happening. I'm not allowed to feel in control while these things are happening. I have to feel sad. I have to grieve. I have to be a certain way. But the truth of the matter is that you get to take control of that and you get to still feel those emotions. Emotions are a part of life. You're going to feel those emotions and you're going to stay in control. And how you're going to do that is with redirecting your mind, right? So you have to become aware of your thoughts. I've done that by journaling, by communicating with people. We all have that one friend or, maybe it's your significant other that you kind of always misread them, right? You feel like you need to ask them, was that last post about me, right? When you're feeling those types of things, when you communicate with people, you can figure that out, right? So when you feel the thoughts, when you are realizing that you're spiraling into that emotional, out of control area, you redirect. You redirect your mind. You use gratitude. You communicate, right? When we were taking Monica on Tuesday, like my husband and I we were both a mess and crying, but we were letting each other know how we were feeling and what we were feeling the whole time, right? And yesterday when we were home together and he was feeling like he wanted to do something and I was feeling like we just let each other know, right? And I still did a few small things. He still did a few small things. I still went to Posh Nova last night and played in some cute clothes. But we communicated with each other so that we could work through those feelings together, right? Because what we're told is that our feelings are ours. Like, cover it up, like play through the pain. We have to put our feelings into a box and close the box, right? And continue on with life. But what does that do? It breaks you down. You're not showing up for your family as your highest self because you're just thinking about all of these boxes that are in your mind, right? So we're becoming unlimited. We're freeing our minds, right? We're feeling emotions and we're letting go of the box of guilt. We're letting go of feeling guilty for experiencing our emotions, right? Excuse me. We're allowed to feel happy one minute and sad the next minute, right? We're allowed to feel these emotions. And I just want to touch on what Nicole said in the comments about when her grandmother passed away, because I didn't meet my grandfather on my dad's side. He passed away when my dad was very young, before I was even born. And my grandmother on my dad's side had Alzheimer's for a really long time. So I don't have a lot of great memories with her. I was young. She passed away. And so my grandparents on my mom's side have always been really close with our family. We just kind of always assumed that they would be there, but their health started to decline. Neither of them could make it to my wedding because they just, couldn't move around that much, right? And so my grandmother passed away a few years ago, and then my grandfather passed away shortly after that. And one of the places that I feel happiest is at the cemetery, sitting just in that spiritual space. One of the things that brings me joy in life is to remember the memories that I have with both of my grandparents. When I was in first grade, we took a Amtrak train up to Washington, D.C. with school to visit the museums and stuff. And my papa went with me. So we rode the train up there together. And my mom has the cutest picture of us holding hands at the train station, right? And so I think of those happy moments often, right? But then you also feel guilty about it because they're not here with you anymore. We were also pretty relieved when they both passed on because, again, with health problems, when your body starts to deteriorate and you can't move around that much anymore, our bodies know when they're ready to shut down and go, right? And so the last few years could be a little rough for older people, older pets, right? And so we were a little bit relieved with both of my grandparents when they were able to pass on because, now they're out of that physical body. And then you feel guilty again for feeling that relief, right? And so we are getting rid of, we're smashing the box of guilt. We no longer have that expectation that we can't feel certain emotions. We're freeing our mind so that we can invite in the abundance that's there for us, right? There is no box big enough for the abundance that's there for you. Okay? Hear that again. There's no box that is big enough for the abundance that's there for you. So when you get rid of those little boxes that are in your mind, you're inviting the abundance to come in. Because what blocks us from the abundance are the feelings, are the thoughts that come along with those feelings, are the lies that we don't redirect, that's what blocks that abundance. And guilt is one of those feelings that's going to block that abundance. If you're going to spiral out of control with guilt, you are going to block that abundance that is yours to take. There is enough abundance for everyone in the world. We just need to tune into it, right? And whatever abundance means to you specifically, there's enough of it in the world. I have been to a couple of the poorest places in the world on mission trips, actually a few of the poorest places in the world in the United States on mission trips, and have seen people that have nothing and are living a completely abundant and happy life. And it's because they're grateful. They're grateful for what they have. They're grateful for being alive. They are opening themselves to abundant energy by not focusing on what they don't have and what they can't control. Right? So free your mind, empty those boxes. There is no box big enough for the abundance that is there for you. So empty those boxes in your mind, especially the one labeled guilt. I'm sorry, my nose ring is feeling weird. Especially the one labeled guilt. Let go of that emotion. Allow yourself to feel happy. Allow yourself to feel relief. Allow yourself to feel sadness. Sadness is okay. Tears are okay. I'm sad that I don't have my physical cat anymore. But I'm happy that she's not laying on the floor suffering anymore, right? I don't have to feel guilty about that. I can feel both of those at the same time and unlimit the anxiety just by letting go of the guilt, right? So Freedom Friday, give me a hashtag Freedom Friday if you're following what I'm saying, right? Let go of that box labeled guilt in your mind. Let it go. Allow yourself to feel those emotions. Redirect your thoughts. Use gratitude when you start thinking about the things you don't want to think. When you start feeling guilt, flip it to gratitude. I don't have to feel guilty that my cat is no longer suffering. I get to feel grateful that my cat has moved on to a better place and I could be there with her. I don't have to feel guilt that I want to work when I should be spending time with my husband. I can feel grateful that I get to take a break and that it's inspiring me to want to come back and do more, right? Flip it with gratitude. Let go of that box. Communicate your needs. Let people know how you're feeling. Work through your emotions with someone, right? I communicated my needs with my husband and he did the same for me. And we got through this week together and spent some happy time on our anniversary together, right? So, hashtag Freedom Friday. Empty the box. Let go of the box labeled guilt. You do not have to feel guilty for feeling the emotions that you feel. You can feel those emotions. You can feel happiness. You can feel sadness. You can feel relief. You can feel gratitude. And you don't have to feel guilty about it. When you unlimit yourself from the guilt, you allow the abundance that you're entitled to come back to you. So let go of that box labeled guilt. Free your mind. Unlimit your mind so that your abundance can come to you. When you're not thinking about guilt, when you're redirecting to gratitude and to other things, you're going to get inspired again. You're going to feel joyful again, right? Remember, gratitude invites the same hormones into your body that are associated with the feelings of joy, the feelings of bliss, and the feelings of calm. So when you're feeling guilty and you're actively redirecting that with gratitude and flipping the script on those hormones, you're redirecting and training your brain to start to live in that space, right? And it becomes easier to stay in control of your emotions. I cried this week. I cried on Tuesday. I cried on Wednesday. I cried yesterday. I'll probably cry today. But I'm just going to let it happen. I'm going to feel it, right? And then I'm going to think about what I'm grateful for. Then I'm going to remember the happiness. I'm going to redirect it. There's no more box of guilt. It's not even a word anymore. Take it out of your vocabulary, right? Free your mind by letting go of the box of guilt. You can feel emotions, whatever they are. You can feel relief. You can feel happiness. You can feel sadness. You can redirect with gratitude, and you don't have to feel guilty about it. I'm going to let y'all do the daily drive on your own today, just because I don't want to let this go on too long. But remember to set your intentional thought. And if you're prone to feeling guilty about things, maybe your intentional thought statement, one of your intentional thought statements could be, that you're committed to unlimiting the boxes in your mind. You're committed to breaking those boxes, right? So I'm going to let y'all do the daily drive on your own, but make sure y'all check out dailydrivecoaching.com. There's tons of information on there. All of these daily drives go on there so that you can watch them again later. There's blog posts on there so that you can follow along with my feelings and how I am redirecting them. There is things on there that you can get to spread mental health awareness. Y'all know these are my personal fave that I've made so far. The pink glitter ones. These were super fun to make. So you can snag your mental health awareness earrings. I've got other things coming. Buttons. My mom just gave me a button maker, y'all. So I'm going to get back to the 90s with some buttons for y'all. But I've got tons of stuff coming. Check out dailydrivecoaching.com. Scroll all the way down and subscribe so you're notified when I do things on there. Y'all, if you're not a part of my Becoming Unlimited Facebook group, search Becoming Unlimited or let me know. It is just a community of support. You get these daily drives and a little bit of extra information about unlimiting your mindset, and we are there for each other and cheer each other on. Make sure you turn on notifications for me and for Becoming Unlimited once you get into that group so that you are informed when I go live. And you guys, I will never ask you for any money for what I do here on social media, but I will ask you to pay the fee of helping me spread the mental health awareness word, right? Turn notifications on, tag a friend, share my videos, hop into my Becoming Unlimited group, subscribe to my website, find Daily Drive Coaching on YouTube, subscribe there, comment, all of the things that we do on social media for free for each other. That is all I ask of you. You can find all of my services, my retail, and everything else on dailydrivecoaching.com. And you can also get in touch with me there if you need further help. Hashtag Freedom Friday, y'all. Unlimit your mind by letting go of the box that you have labeled guilt in your mind. You're allowed to feel emotions. You're allowed to feel sadness. You're allowed to feel relieved about a certain situation. You are allowed to feel emotions. Let go of the guilt box that you have related to certain things by redirecting your brain with gratitude. One of the ways that I show gratitude that I ran out of time to write before I got on here is with my handy dandy Joy Jar. And you guys always go in the Joy Jar. My social media family is what I'm going to write today, because I just appreciate so much that you get on here and hang out with me, that you interact, that you share the info, that you do all of the things. It makes me excited and fuels my fire, fuels my energy. So my social media family always goes in the Joy Jar. Remember, check out dailydrivecoaching.com, scroll all the way down and subscribe. Let me know if you want to be in Becoming Unlimited, turn on notifications, all of that fun stuff. I love y'all so much. Remember, Freedom Friday, give yourself freedom. Unlimit your mind by letting go of the box that you have labeled guilt and allow yourself to feel the emotions that your body is intended to feel. That will allow you to open your energy to the abundance that's out there for you. I love y'all so much. Happy Freedom Friday. I will see y'all soon.